Hello, welcome back to the new video. Very abrupt starting to the video because we were just discussing few things and I thought it would be really great to shed some light onto this issue. And as there's a very bright sunlight today, very rare things to see in London, so we are very excited as well. Okay, so the thing I wanted to talk about is of course you all are coming here to do your masters, to study your bachelor's, whatever you're coming for, but end result for everyone will be securing a job, right? So I just wanted to talk about how difficult and how different the job journey, finding job journey is, and what was our experience after our masters, the things that we did, few mistakes that we made, and how you can navigate your way through it basically. So first I would start with I would directly jump into the topic, and I would start by saying after September your job journey, the time after you get a job could vary for everyone. For her it was just 2 months, for me it was more of 4 or 5 months. Okay, so there are people for whom it was 1 year.
Yes, and some people still haven't gotten it.
Some people still haven't gotten it. Okay, so there is no designated time that under this time you will be able to get a job, or in next 2-3 months you will be able to get a job. It's all about the consistent efforts that you do, and also
genuine connections.
Exactly, genuine connections you make, and strategical improvement as well. See, I just read a post which said experiences do matter, yes, but the reflection that you get from those experiences matter the most. Of course you are facing rejections and you are getting more and more experienced, but if you're not reflecting anything from that experience, then that experience won't be very valuable to you. If you are getting rejections from 50 applications when you are doing the same thing, I think it's time for you to change that thing up and then apply, rather than continuing it because you already got 50 rejections. Okay, so that is something really, really important. And when you are looking for jobs after your graduation, you should start by June, July by preparing your CV, because you can't make a perfect CV in one go, and still there's no perfect CV, to be very honest. Okay, but I would just suggest, if you are someone fresher, who have 1 to 2 years of experience, or 0 years of experience, or 3 to 4 as well, try to keep your CV under 1 page. And I'm very strictly saying that because most of the recruiters have spoken to over here in the UK, they're people with 2-3 years of experience have a 4-page long resume, and she's like, how is it even possible? That lady whom I was speaking to had 25 years of experience, and he's like, my resume still is under 1.5 pages. So how can someone with 2 years of experience have a 3-4 page long resume? And if you can't shorten that resume with that amount of experience, if you have 2 years of work experience and you are saying that you are unable to shorten it under 1 page, then it's a big red flag for the recruiter, and they're like, it's so easy thing to do but you still can't do it. That means you're not very efficient.
It's that you've not made that effort to make sure that it's easier for the job.
Exactly. So that's a very big point that every one of you should and must consider. Also, during the process you learn applying jobs via website. Yes, it's good, but it's not the only option, and it's solely that might not get you a job. It might, but you have to hit that thing from different angles to succeed basically in that thing.
You start with, you just first rectify your CV, then you're okay, then the issue was not CV, then you rectify your cover letter, then you're oh, maybe the cover letter is now okay, but the way I apply should be changed. So from website you start cold emailing
and all. Exactly. Okay, so continuing that thought, of course you are applying online, and I mean through websites, and you are refining your CV every time you apply. It is very, very important for you to hit the same thing from different angles, okay, for it to basically break down. So if you're applying for an X role at Y company, you need to showcase your interest. If you don't show your interest, how will the other person know that you are interested in them? Basically every other thing in life. Okay, so you reach out to the recruiter. If recruiter is not replying, you reach out to someone in that role from that company, or someone senior who was in that role 2-3 years ago but now progressed within the ranks in the company. You reach out to them, tell them how interested you are, and how you, with your skills, you can actually benefit them. You don't cold email or cold text on LinkedIn just by saying, hi, can I have your time or something like that. No, you need to be precise and to the point in that 300 characters that you get. Okay.
You need to show that you've put in the effort by actually,
Exactly.
like, you know, correcting your CV according to the job
Right.
description, your cover letter according to the job description, the keywords. Show that you've tailored it for this, so that they feel that, okay, this person actually has this experience, is
Right.
fit for it, and also is making the effort for it.
When you're applying for jobs and looking for jobs, see, there are a lot of jobs here in the UK. I'm not saying there are no jobs. The only problem is there are very less percentage of people who are able to figure it out. And to figure it out as well, you need to continuously learn from your mistakes and from your peers around you who can tell you and guide you basically. If you are listening to everyone and not taking actions, then of course you won't be able to find a job, and that is the case with 90% of the students who come here. Okay, moving on from that, now talking about our journey and how we were able to get jobs. Fortunately, touch wood, we were one of the few people from our courses who actually got jobs. Okay, what we did different was, first of all, we started applying in May, June, like properly applying. We were making our CV, obviously, and we started applying. We started getting those rejection emails like literally every other morning. We used to wake,
Unfortunately, you have not
Exactly.
been selected at the moment.
like every other day, whatever job we applied, we knew we are going to get rejected, but we anyhow applied. Okay, and every time I applied as well, and whenever I got that rejection email, I went to LinkedIn, I searched that recruiter, I told that recruiter, like, you know what, I got rejected and that's fine, just let me know a few reasons why you rejected me. Okay, at least I can improve the next time. And not every recruiter gets back to you, okay, because that's not their job to give you feedback basically, but few of them will do. Like, if you email, like, if you apply 50 at 50 places, you get rejected at all 50, and then you reach out to all of those recruiters, among those 50, at least
10 to
not
12.
10, like 5 to 10 would reply basically, and tell you, like, you know, you didn't have the experience, you should develop this skill, and that will really help you to either learn those skills
Or you will at least know which job to not apply to.
Exactly. So that's also a very big problem. Initially, we didn't know which role should we apply for, like what are we good at, because we had literally no experience, like zero experience. Okay, so to figure that out is also really important. You can keep applying, but what if those job roles are not meant for you? So that from June to September, somehow we figured out what works for us. For her, it was marketing, and for me, it was sales and operations. Okay, so we knew that we have to apply for these roles only. So we narrowed our search from like 10 to 15 roles to 2 to 3 roles, and 2 to 3 roles are much more manageable. Like, you can create CV for all those 3 roles individually and start applying. Okay, so for me, it was business development representative / executive, because that was the starting position at almost every healthcare company, and for her it was marketing executive. Okay, so make a list of the companies you want to work at. You can find this from LinkedIn, from Google. We made like a list of 150 to 200 companies initially in September that we need to apply to them. We applied to all of them, like literally 200. There were 200 companies in the list. We applied to all of them. We emailed, we applied online, we reached out on LinkedIn to almost every person working in that company, because the good thing was all those companies were a mid-tier companies, like having 30 to 50 employees, like basically 15 to 50 employees, let's say.
And
So-
some days when you don't feel like applying, also have, like, you know, have something that you say that every day I will at least apply to
Exactly.
10. And you will do it if you feel like you have to, because that's what we did. Some days we're just like, yeah, give up kar lete, like, you know, this is not for me. But later you're like, you know what, I actually promised myself I will do it, and you just do it.
So we did that for those 200 companies, and around September end, we started getting a lot of responses. Before September, it was just rejections, no interviews. Okay, no, literally zero interviews. At the end of September, when we started doing this, we both started getting interviews, and multiple interviews. Like in a week, we had like 4 or 5 interviews scheduled. Like that sort of volume we got just by emailing people and also reaching out to them on LinkedIn. There were few calls we had where company was not recruiting at all, but they were more than happy to have a call and be like, if we came across a role, or, you know, if we open a role, we'll of course consider you. And because we have had this call, we could easily evaluate like if you are a good fit or not. So we always had those calls as well. Once we came into October, things started progressing towards second round and final rounds, and we started failing at those things because initially the goal was to apply and get first round. Now we were getting first round. Now we cracked how to get those first call and first round interviews. The second step was to convert them. I'm so sorry for that bike. Second thing was to convert them. Okay, how to convert those? We didn't know. So again, we went to those rounds, we failed, we learned like, okay, so in final rounds, these are the things which are really important. And now by now, we already knew like, yes, we can get more first round calls with other companies and do these second round and final round calls with the companies we are selected for. So we kept doing that. And by October end, she interviewed for some company, which she got rejected for. She didn't got rejected, basically that role got filled internally. Okay.
So she said that I will keep your CV in hand and I will make sure to reach out to you when you get a suitable role. So I never expected anything or like expected to hear back. But later around November mid, she's like, you know what, now we have another opening for you. Would you be interested to have a call? So I thought I will have to interview again. But when I had the call, she just recruited me. She's like, you know what, I think you'll be perfect.
Exactly. And that's when follow-ups also come into play. Like even if a recruiter told you like, you know, oh, they'll get back to you at within X days or something like that, you would follow up with interest, not pressurize them for a reply. With interest, like, oh, you know what, I just saw on a LinkedIn that you guys went to this conference. It was so cool. I always wanted to go to this conference. By the way, taking back to the call that we had last week, could I have some update regarding that? Like,
just show interest.
Exactly. Follow up with an interest. Don't follow up out of desperation of getting a job. Okay.
One thing we realized is that we were so desperate in between and we sounded like it.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what, when you run behind something, you never get it. But when you don't expect it is when you'll get it. Keep putting your effort, but do not be desperate and act desperate.
Exactly. And interest is really important. Like, you know how in your real life relationships, you always want to be like, from your crush, you want little bit attention so that she shows interest, you show interest, and then things will eventually happen. Similarly in job, okay, a company wants a person who sounds interesting to them and have some set of skills which they could implement within the company and help in the role basically. But interest is the key. So like broaden your approach, narrow down your roles, tailor your CV according to those roles, reach out to people via different means and show interest. Connect with them regarding anything personal, like let's say a recruiter or any person working that company is a fan of X team. Just reach out by saying, oh, you know what, I am also a fan of this team or something like that. Like create a natural conversation. Don't force the conversation revolving around getting a job. Force a natural conversation, and the more and more you do this, the more responses you'll keep getting, and then you'll eventually learn how to message first, second, how to convert them into calls, third, how to convert that call into an actual job offer. So it's a journey, and it's just you need to be constantly learning at it. You can't be desperate and trying the same method and failing again and again. You need to learn from that failure and try to implement these new strategies into the roles. I hope this video helped. We tried to put our experience in a very short time frame actually, because everyone was asking like, you know, how did you manage to secure a job? So at last I would just say there are jobs. There are a lot of opportunities over there, but very less number of people are able to convert them. And the people who are able to convert them are highly skilled in communication, the way they represent themselves and the way they talk. So these are few things which differentiates or distinguishes them apart from the crowd who have the skills, but they know how to, you know, showcase their skills in a much more better way. So learn that. If you can learn that from India, well and great. Then when you come over here, you can already, you know, start putting these things into practice. And if you don't know them and you are already here, or you are trying to come here, or you have an offer letter, you are coming here this September, come here and start networking with people as soon as possible on natural basis, not in terms of getting a job. I hope this video was helpful. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.